All right, welcome to the tutorial on setting up your very own Business Objects trial environment. Keep in mind this environment is a 30-day trial, but there is no limit to the amount of times you can renew this trial. So as long as you renew before the 30th day, you can keep your Business Objects trial environment up and running. And this is a fully functional environment just like you'd find in a production instance. So let's get started. To get things kicked off, let's go ahead and navigate to sapwebi.com/hosting. The website Turnkey Internet comes highly recommended for affordable, on-demand, private virtual servers, or VPSs. The machine I'd recommend you get is the T80, and it comes in at $21.24 a month. Now we'll scroll down, and for our operating system, let's choose the Windows Server 2016 Evaluation Edition, the 64-bit. You can leave everything else at its default selection. Choose Continue. You should see your total at $21.24 if the coupon was applied. I already have a server up and running, so the coupon is only applicable to the first server you spin up. Let's now scroll down and fill out all the applicable detail information. Mine's already pre-populated because I'm an existing customer, but if you're a new customer, click on the New Customer tab and fill out all the information. As you scroll down further, you'll be asked for the payment method. I'm choosing my credit card and using my existing card on file. Check the terms of service and click on Checkout. All right, and you may be prompted to have to hit Next down there for the Verified by Visa option, or it might go through automatically. But for me, I have to hit Next. Okay, so my order has been placed. And right now, my server has begun the process of spinning up. Click here to go to your client area. And once there, you can see that there are services running. If you're a new customer, you should only see one service here. But seeing as how I'm an existing customer, I have two. Go ahead and click on one of those services. And here is the Business Objects server we're going to be using, the T80. Towards the bottom, you can see that we have the system currently in the offline status, and that's because it's still coming up. It was just launched a second ago, so it might take around 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and just speed the video up. Just going to refresh the page and see if it is now online. All right, we are good to go. So in order to connect to our server, we need our IP address, which is listed out right here on that first server information tab. So go ahead and write that down. And on this far right tab called additional information, this is our password, which is our administrator password to log into that machine. Go ahead and copy and paste that into Notepad, because oftentimes the letters might look like numbers and the numbers might look like letters. So putting it in a program like Notepad, you could easily tell the difference. All right, so now that we have our IP address along with our password to log in, let's go ahead and load up the remote desktop program. Come down to the Windows icon and just start typing out remote, and that should pull up the remote desktop connection application. All right, so now that we have a blank remote desktop connection, go ahead and copy and paste or just manually type that IP address in. Click Connect. And if you already have a session that's been established before, you're going to need to come down and choose Use Different Account. Now we'll type in for our username, administrator. And then again, under our additional information, we have our administrator password, which I've gone ahead and just copied into my notepad. So I'll paste that on in there and choose OK. Click Do Not Ask again, and then press Yes. And now we are connecting to our Windows Server 2016 out in the cloud. Go ahead and click No. Okay, so now that we have connected to our Windows Server environment, the first thing I recommend we do is we change our administrator password to something a little bit easier to remember, not that crazy long string of text. So the easiest way to do this, because it can often be difficult to send a Control-Alt-Delete when you're remoting into your machine, is to go back into the Turnkey Internet Client portal. So we'll come back to our server here, and there's an option towards the bottom of the page called VNC. Go ahead and click that button and choose the HTML option. And this essentially creates that remote desktop connection within a web interface. Click on Send Control-Alt-Delete. We could log in. So we'll go ahead and just type out that password that we have for our administrator account. And once you're logged in, on the top right hand of your screen, you can see there's a Send Control-Alt-Delete. Go ahead and do that and choose the Change a Password option. Here we'll put in our old, long, and clumsy password. And in the next two fields, we'll enter our new password. Click Enter, and our password has been changed. Okay, so now that we've successfully done that, we can go back into the remote desktop application. Click Connect. Use our new password. And we are good to go. So you no longer need that web-based remote connection. All right, so once your server manager boots up, click on Local Server. And then over on the right-hand side, in the top right, you can see that there's the IE Enhanced Security Configuration. Go ahead and click on that. And make sure both are set to off. Otherwise, Internet Explorer is unusable. Okay, so since they're both set to off, let's now pop back into Internet Explorer. Now go to google.com. Let's download Google Chrome. If you're not prompted to download Google Chrome, just go ahead and do a quick Google search for download Google Chrome. Very self-explanatory. Uncheck that box and choose Accept and Install. Click Run. All right, so when Chrome has finished installing, it should open up. So let's just close out of IE, close out of Chrome, and now we have to make one change. We'll right-click on our Google Chrome shortcut, and under the target field, all the way at the end, go ahead and type out space dash dash allow dash outdated dash plugins. Click apply and OK. And this is just to make sure that the Google Chrome application can support some of the older Business Objects applications. So I'll just right click on it and pin it to my taskbar for easy access. And let's now navigate to google.com and search for SAP BI Edge Edition Trial and press enter. Towards the top of your screen, you should see the software free trials at the SAP Products Free Trials site. Give that a click. And we'll scroll down just a bit under the Analytics column. You'll see the SAP Business Objects Business Intelligence Edge Edition. Click that. And now towards the bottom, you'll see a Start a Free Trial. Click that. And on the right-hand side of your screen, you'll see a series of fields to register for the trial. Go ahead and fill out this information. And you need to provide a valid email address because that is where SAP is going to be sending your trial license key. Submit. All right, so as you can see, your key is going to be within the welcome email that SAP is going to be sending you, and all the downloads we need are directly below. You see we have the server part 1 and 2, along with the client tools. And these are the only 3 pieces of software we need to download to run our Business Objects trial. So click on each to get the download started. So now I'm going to open up a new tab and check my email so I have my license key. Okay, so here is an example of the email that SAP will send you. You should see your key code listed out towards the middle of that email, probably in bold. Go ahead and write that key code down. All right, so while we are waiting for these files to finish downloading, go ahead and open up a new tab and go to sapwebi.com/Java. Here we'll download the version of Java that we need to support Business Objects. Newer versions of Java tend to have some issues with some of the Business Objects components, so I highly recommend that you download this version. And as soon as that download completes, we can go ahead and install Java. Choose install. Okay, so once Java has completed installing, come on down to the Windows icon, right click, and choose Control Panel. From within Control Panel, come up to the search bar and type Java. Click on the Java application. Come on over to the Advanced tab. Choose the Security tree. Click on that second option, the Mixed Code, and then make sure the last option is checked. Disable the verification. And this just makes sure that Java doesn't interfere with Business Objects running. We'll close out of that window. And as you can see, still have a few more minutes for these downloads. And if you want to go ahead and just clean up the Java installer, you can go to your downloads folder and remove that installation package. All right, we'll just fast forward a bit. Okay, so your files should look just like this when the download completes. So to get this kicked off, let's double click on that underscore part1 file. This is the server extraction file. If for any reason it doesn't pop up automatically, you'll see the little icon there at the bottom left of your screen. Looks like a bunch of books. Go ahead and give it that icon a click. And now we'll change the destination folder by hitting Browse. This PC. Go to our C drive. And now let's make a new folder. We'll call this temp. Click OK. And install. And this extraction can take upwards to an hour to complete. So now might be a good time to grab a coffee or take a break for a little bit. And I'll just go ahead and fast forward the video until this extraction completes. Okay, so now that our extraction has completed, let's go back to our C drive. So File Explorer, this PC, C drive, the temp folder, and open up that folder we just extracted to. Open up the data units directory, Business Objects Server Win, and double click on that setup file. Now we'll begin the Business Objects Server component of this installation. This is the real brains of the entire operation right here. The client tools are optional, but I would recommend them given that they do provide a better experience by having the local client applications running and then connecting to your server versus running a web-based version of those things. Click OK. And it looks like we have not passed all of the necessary prerequisites. If, for any reason, your installation halts due to a suppressed restart, go ahead and restart your machine. Give it a few minutes so your server comes back online, and then try reconnecting to it. And then go ahead and restart this Business Objects server installation. Then all of those checks should have passed, and you'll be able to install Business Objects. So click Next, accept the agreement, and here we're typing in our product key that was emailed to us by SAP. So go ahead and type your key inside of that field now. Click Next. Leaving the language at English. Next. We'll leave the full radio button checked. Choose Next. Next. We'll be installing Tomcat. Next. Configure and install subversion. Next. And now let's rename this node name field to node 1. All caps. We can leave the port as is. Choose Next. Leave this at default. Next. And now we'll be creating a password for each of these particular functions of Business Objects. I recommend to use the same password throughout so you don't get too confused, but obviously in a production instance, you wouldn't do this. Click Next. Again, entering a password. Leave the ports at default. Next. So most of these settings we're going to be just leaving at the default. Okay, go ahead and enter your password. Click Next. Leave the Do Not Configure Connectivity in SMD agent at default. Do not configure. Next. Next. And now the installation has kicked off. Now the total install time may vary. So again, you might want to kick this off before you go to bed at night, wake up, it'll be all set. Or if you have a few hours, just go ahead and leave it running in the background, and I will fast forward until the installation has completed. Alright, so unfortunately my remote connection dropped overnight, so I wasn't able to record the entire installation, but as you can see, the installation has completed successfully. Under my program section, we now have a SAP Business Intelligence folder, and within it we have all the components of the Business Objects server installed on this machine. Let's open the Central Configuration Manager. We can see that the two programs that we need are up and running, the Tomcat and the Server Intelligence Agent. So everything here looks good. If for any reason they're not running, just right click and choose Start. We'll close out of here and we'll go back into the SAP Business Intelligence folder. And now we'll hover over and make sure we open up the Central Management Console. Right there. We'll open this up. Choose Enable. And now we'll be logging in with our administrator username. Along with a password that we set up during the Business Objects installation. Click the box to not show this message again. OK. And here we're prompted with the configuration wizard. Click Next. And right now we have all of these Business Objects applications starting by default. But let's save as much processing power as possible and deselect everything but Web Intelligence, because that's a primary tool that we'll be using within the Business Objects suite. Click Next. Click Next. Next. And as you can see, it's saying all of these products are currently running. However, you choose to only move forward with Web Intelligence. Click Apply. And you can easily come back anytime and turn any of those back on. Let's click Close. This is the Central Management Console. This is where all the Business Objects administration happens. Click on Servers. At the top of the screen there, click on Servers List. And make sure that the Connection Server and Connection Server 32 are up and running. All the processes that we need are currently up and running, except for the ones that we chose to not run. As you can see, they're currently in the stopped status. If any of them are currently off, just right-click and choose to start them. If you click this drop down up here, we can choose any of the administrative functions. For example, license keys. Here is the key that SAP provided to us via email. It's good for 30 days. Towards the end of this video, I'll show you how you can renew that license so it doesn't expire. All right, let's now close out of the Central Management Console. So let's work on getting our client tools extracted. Let's hop back into our Downloads folder. And we'll right-click on the other folder we have yet to extract. Choose Extract All, Browse, and again we'll go to this PC, C drive, Temp, and then choose the Select Folder option. Press Extract. Alright, so while this extraction is running, let's now just go ahead and see if we can connect to Web Intelligence using the server interface within the web browser. So go back into the SAP Business Intelligence folder and find the SAP Business Objects BI Launchpad. Just pin this to your start menu for easy access. The BI Launchpad will load within your web browser. So go ahead and log in with your username and password. Don't show this message again, and click OK. Here we can see all the Business Objects applications on the right-hand pane under My Applications. And here's Web Intelligence. And it's also accessible here at the top menu under the Applications dropdown. Let's load Web Intelligence. Okay, so Web Intelligence has loaded for us. And if we click on the blank sheet there to create a new Web Intelligence report, we can click on the universe, hit OK. And now we'll select the eFashion universe, which is what we'll be using within our training course at sapwebi.com. and it might take a little while for that initial connection. All right, so our query panel has loaded up, and we have our universe on the left-hand data pane. So I'll just quickly create a query to demonstrate that this is a fully functional version of Web Intelligence. Click Run Query. And this is our report output. So now that we've verified that Web Intelligence works within the web browser, leveraging the BI Launchpad, let's now take a look at how our extraction job is running for our client tools. Okay, so the extraction is still running, so I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward the video until the extraction completes. Okay, so now the extraction is done. Go back into your temp folder and open up the BI Platform 4.2 Client Tools. Open the Business Objects Client folder and then double click on the Setup. Choose your language and press OK. We've passed all the prerequisites, so press Next, Next, accept the agreement, Next, again confirming the language packages, and we're going to leave the majority of these checked, so whatever the default options are, you can leave those. Choose Next. Okay, let's kick off the installation by pressing Next. And I'll go ahead and fast forward the installation. Okay, so now the install has completed for the client tools. We'll navigate back to our Start menu. Within the SAP Business Intelligence folder, we now have additional client applications, like Web Intelligence Rich Client. Go ahead and launch that. So now instead of using the BI Launchpad, which runs within Internet Explorer or Google Chrome, we're launching it directly from the client tool application. If we open the file location, we can now save the shortcut to our desktop. So right click, send to, desktop. Okay, so this is the Web Intelligence Rich Client. Let's click on Universe. As you can see, we get a prompt to log in to a server environment. So currently, our system is set to standalone. If we try to log in using standalone, it's basically logging into a shell of a server. Nothing's actually running, therefore we won't have anything to connect to. So what we need to do is specify our server information so that the Web Intelligence rich client knows how to properly communicate with our Business Objects server. So let's close out of this standalone connection. Close out of Web Intelligence rich client. So let's make sure we completely shut down our Web Intelligence rich client. We'll exit out. And now let's relaunch it. So now when we click on Universe, instead of using standalone, let's input our Business Objects server name, which is the same as our computer name. If you don't know your computer name, just click on the Start menu and choose Server Manager. And then click on Local Server. On the top left, you'll see computer name. Go ahead and write this down. This is the computer name that we'll be inputting for our Business Objects server. For our username, we'll be using administrator. And again, using the password that you've been using. Choose log on. Don't show. Okay. All right, so now we can actually see those universes. So let's launch eFashion. We can maximize this window. And now just to show you that, once again, we are using a full-blown version of Web Intelligence. I'll add a couple of objects here. Run query. And it may take a bit of time for its first query against the universe because it has yet to cache it in our system. So just give it a second. All right, and here is our report output. So as of right now, you have a fully functional Business Objects system. And if you're looking to learn Web Intelligence, I'd highly recommend the course we offer at sapwebi.com. Right now, you have a 100% compatible environment, so you can go ahead and learn Web Intelligence. So just to show you, if you restart your machine, the Business Objects environment automatically comes back up. So you don't have to worry about installing anything or running any lines of code to start a server. It just starts up automatically. Okay, so it's restarted. I'm connecting. Okay, so now that our server is back up, let's double click on the rich client shortcut just to demonstrate that the Business Objects environment is up and running. Once again, we'll click on the eFashion universe. We'll get prompted to log in. And now we are logging into our server. Let's now close out of our Web Intelligence Rich client. And now I'll show you how to renew your Business Objects trial license. So it's been a few days since I've initially installed Business Objects. So let's go into the SAP Business Intelligence folder and then open up the Central Management Console. We'll log into the Central Management Console. We can just hit close on this wizard. We're just going to go directly into the license component of the Central Management Console. Click the drop down, choose license keys. And here we see that we have our key. It expires on July 15th and it's currently June 18th. So it's been 3 days into our 30-day trial. One thing to mention is your license key will not change. It's tied to your email address. However, we need to re-register for the trial using that same email address in order to tell SAP that we want to extend our license. So once again, open up a browser and go to SAP BI Edge Edition Trial. Once again, we'll go back into the software free trials section of the SAP site. And then we'll click on the SAP Business Objects Business Intelligence Edge Edition. Click on Start a Free Trial. And now we'll repeat the process of registering for this trial. And again, making sure you're using the exact same email address. Click Submit. So SAP will resend you the same license key in your email, but we don't need to do anything with that because it's obviously identical to the one we already used. So if we go back into the Central Management Console, all we need to do now in order to extend that expiration date is to remove the key we're using. So just go ahead and write down this key before you decide to delete it, and then we'll add it back in. Click on the Delete button. Choose OK to delete the key. All right, so the key has been removed from the system, and now we'll simply add it back in. We'll type out that key, press Add, and now we have an extended version of the trial. You can see it's 30 days out from our current day. So whenever you need to renew your trial, all you do is re-register for the trial, remove the current key you're using, add it back in, and that communicates with SAP's server saying that you have an extended version of the trial. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and wish you the best of luck in practicing Business Objects Web Intelligence. And if you're interested in learning how to create reports within Business Objects Web Intelligence, please check out sapwebi.com. Thank you.